Welcome back for those people joining me again. Hopefully this video will be useful. This one's going to be about it's going to be about how to fill a prescription in Thailand. So hopefully the information will be useful to some people. I'm not saying this is how it's done. I'm saying this is how I've done it. And so there might be some other process. I'm not here to really do the research and tell people exactly the protocol for seeing a doctor. I can just tell you my experience and what works for me, and how to get medicine in Thailand. So my prescription is a little bit different. It's a controlled substance. I'd like to preface the whole thing by saying I hate big pharma. I think most things that you're prescribed medication for can be remedied with the natural remedies. Diet, sleep is a big one, stress, that type of thing. My preferred medications for pain are whiskey and maybe some edibles. So the two of them together, maybe I get a good night's sleep. So I don't take these medications a lot, but when I need them, I like to have them on hand. And they're a controlled substance. So if you're getting something like blood pressure medication, it might be a totally different process. You might just go straight to the pharmacy, pick up your medicine, pay your money, and leave. Mine, however, when I go to refill, requires that I sit down with a physician. They're going to check, they're basically going to ask the standard questions to make sure I'm not a junkie, try to prescribe me as little as possible, and go on my way. So I've done this twice now since I've been here. I have several recommendations before how to get your medicine in Thailand. If you're planning to come to Thailand, if you're coming from the United States, it's very easy to talk to your doctor, talk to your pharmacist, let them know you're traveling, and I've been able to secure 90 days worth of medication in this manner for certain medications. For controlled medications, they don't want to give that many because you could sell them or whatever people do with them. So if you're going to travel, try to have the medicine in its original container. It's not to say you can't bring loose pills. I have inadvertently, and you could probably get away with it most times, but what a nightmare it would be. And for those of you coming to Thailand or traveling abroad, Thailand especially, they take drugs very seriously here. So if you have some pain medication and it's not in a prescription bottle, and you don't have a prescription for it, you could just be in a whole world of hurt, man. I'm sure every smuggler says, or user says that they have a prescription. So you'd be in a whole world of hurt, and there's no reason for that. So if you're going to travel, try to stock up before you leave. Let them know you're traveling. Usually you can get an extended prescription. And then when that runs out, try to have your paper prescription and keep that bottle when the pills run out, when the medicine runs out. And I started by going to pharmacy because it's what made sense to me. But pharmacy in certain countries in the West, in the United States, for example, is not the same as a pharmacy in Greece or as a pharmacy in Poland or as a pharmacy in Thailand. And so for these type of medications, they're not going to be able to help you out. In Europe, they can give you medication that usually requires a prescription when it comes to things like antihistamine, pain relief, muscle relaxers, not strong pain relievers, but muscle relaxers, some mild pain relievers. And you just go in there and tell them your symptoms, and the pharmacist asks you if you're on anything, and they function at a higher level than they do in the United States. In Thailand, however, that's not the case. You go to pharmacy to buy routine stuff, and a lot of things require a prescription. So I wasn't able to secure my prescription that way. Couldn't get much help from staff there. Language barrier. I got to do a video one day on why I don't speak Thai. So at the time I was living in Bangkok when I needed to refill this prescription. I had the original bottle but not the paper prescription. And I just simply went to Ram 9 Hospital. It's one of the private hospitals in Bangkok. I don't know if it's one of the better ones or where it ranks. It was the one closest to where I was living at the time. So I went to Rom 9 Hospital. You check in. I brought my passport. They wanted that. This time I didn't have it. They didn't seem to mind. I know my address, so I gave them all the info. But I go in there. I show them the prescription I want. I expected to then be routed to pharmacy, but instead they take you in. You do like a routine check-in, like you do at any doctor. They're going to take your blood pressure, your weight, your height, uh, and then you go wait. And in this case, I had to talk to a specialist. So then you're given another ticket and you wait, and then you go to the specialist. They sit down. You go through a brief interaction with them, and then they send you to pharmacy. I went to pharmacy. I picked up my prescription. I found it kind of pricey, to be honest with you, but my insurance is only for inpatient here in Thailand. Outpatient is out of pocket, and I understand the reason for the process, but I couldn't help but think to myself that it was just to generate some type of billing. The doctor was of so no use. I was already prescribed this medication by a doctor. I've been using it for a long time. So the process, I understand, is cautionary. That's cool that you get a little bit of a checkup just to get your thing, but also kind of a hassle versus walking into the pharmacy and just getting a refill, right? So I found it a little more expensive than the United States. So first time, Rom 9, walk in, no appointment, told them what I needed. They routed me to all the right places. I left with the medication 2-3 hours later, and the whole thing cost me probably about 1,200 baht, with the bulk of it being for the doctor's consultation, which was 500 baht. 500 baht is less than $20 for 20 US dollars. So now I live in Kautakiab, and I went to Wahim to refill this medication. This time I went to Bangkok Hospital. Same exact process. Really polite, very efficient, very clean. The process was very expedient, but you had to go through the steps. You got to do the paperwork. And truth be told, it's not the same amount of paperwork that you would do at an American clinic or hospital. It's like you could go to a clinic for 3 years in the United States and they're still handing you the same shit. It's like I've already told you all this information. Why every time I walk in are you asking me stupid questions? So you don't get the pamphlet anymore. Not to mention, I don't work at any of these facilities. Why am I filling out your paperwork? But I digress. Here, Bangkok Hospital, went in, walk up to the information desk, showed them my script here from Thailand that I renewed in Rom 9. I also got the doctor wrote a new prescription. So now I have a Thai prescription. So I went down there. Unfortunately, the specialty doctor that I needed to see was not available today. Now again, I had no appointment. I just went there. I was on the way to Blueport Mall at Bangkok Hospital. Let me see if I can get some medication. So I go in there and they took my blood pressure. I went through the first phase before they figured out the doctor wasn't there, but it was relatively quick. They didn't make me wait long, and they came to me and informed me that, listen, the doctor's not here. They jumped right on the computer and they gave me an appointment. So I'll return tomorrow with a specific appointment, and I don't think I'll need to return to let you know how expedient that was. I have a high level of confidence. They were very efficient. So that part was cool. And I expect the cost to be about the same as Bangkok, maybe cheaper. I don't know. Bangkok Hospital has a reputation for being expensive. I don't know. Rumors, right? So that is how you fill a prescription in Thailand. So if you guys are coming here, or if you live here, now you know what I've done and how I fill my prescription. And hopefully if you have something that maybe is not as controlled as the prescription that I sought after, the process will be even more streamlined. You might go from the information desk straight to the pharmacy. And you pay out of pocket, and it's not terribly expensive. I mean, if you factor in what I paid for premiums for insurance, I say the prescription was more expensive, but it was more expensive with my insurance covering it. So my portion, my deductible, was less than what I'm paying all total here. So I think it is actually much cheaper anywhere I've been outside of the United States. Bears the burden of the research and the development and pushing of the drugs. I'm not a proponent of big pharma. I hate them, but I'm just stating facts here. And so we as Americans, when we get a prescription, pay the bulk of the cost for all the research, development, the production. And by the time this is distributed by American companies in Europe and Africa, sometimes they have a charity factor that makes it cheaper. The government subsidizes it, but the whole thing is cheaper because they've already recuperated their costs for developing a drug. So they're evil still, but as a business, uh, from a business aspect, that's one of the reasons why Americans pay more, uh, as well as greed and just ridiculousness. Anyway, that's how you fill a prescription in Thailand. That's how I've done it. Hopefully, this has been helpful for you, and I'll try to provide more of that type of information, um, and see if it might help a person or two. All right, man. Beware, be patient, be kind, and be cool.